The dwindling of economy. Please write the word, underline the word dwindling. Dwindle means to reduce, to go down. Please write the meaning of dwindle. Dwindle means to go down or to reduce. Generally it goes with the word numbers. Please write the combination. Dwindling numbers. Dwindling numbers. I'm not writing, I'm dictating. Dwindling numbers. But here it goes with economy. The dwindling of economy. So it's a negative word or positive word? It's a negative word. Based on that you have to select. Across generations, to children poor. Here the clue for you, not the first word, the second word, but we'll start with each pair. The dwindling of economy multiplies across generations to maintain children poor. Maintain is not the right word, so mark it wrong. Underline the word maintain, mark it wrong. Leaps across. Please underline the word leaps. Leaps means jumps, jump. A leap means what? Jump. Write one idiomatic expression. First you write the word develop or developing. Use the ing form. You could use the word developing or growing. Are the letters clear? Developing by leaps and bounds or growing by leaps and bounds. Idiomatic expression means grow quickly or very fast. Please write the meaning. Leaps and bounds, to grow quickly. Generally what happens, cities in the third world countries or towns in third world countries, they usually grow by leaps and bounds. Then the development is not even, the development is uneven. Then there's one expression, please write the expression. We call it lopsided development. Lopsided development means uneven development. Write the meaning, uneven development. Lopsided, not even. Today if you take this city, certain pockets very modern, certain pockets very backward. So it's a typical example of lopsided development. At the same time, the city is growing by leaps and bounds. The city is growing by leaps and bounds. So the dwindling of economy multiplies, that option we have rejected. Leaps across generations, this seems right, means jumps across generations to make children poor. Hold that one. What is the third option? Spreads, this is also right. But here the word is negative. Can you say help children poor? Please underline the second word and mark it wrong. Spreads is right, help is not correct. Leans across generations to accommodate children poor. That is not the right word here. Please underline the word accommodate and mark it wrong. Compounds across generations to keep children poor. Now you have to decide between the second option and the fifth option. The dwindling of economy compounds across generations. Underline the word compounds. Compound means to add up, to multiply or to add up. To keep children poor. First word you don't consider, you have to decide on the basis of the second word. Will you say to make children poor or to keep children poor? So answer is the second option. Leaps, jumps across generations to make children poor. The impact of that, children become poor. It makes children poor. Shall I move on to the next one? Shares of a popular airline plunged. Please underline the word plunged. Plunge means to go down. Also write the expression nose dive. N-O-S-E, nose dive. You all know the word dive, diving. Nose dive means to plunge, suddenly go down. Shares of a popular airline plunged by 17% as a cash-strapped airline. Please underline the expression cash-strapped. Means what? Positive or negative? Negative. They don't have enough funds. Cash-strapped airline against time. This is an easy one because there is a clue for you. What is the clue for you? Please underline against time. Generally we use the expression, what is it? What is the word? A race against time. What is the standard expression? Please write a race against time. 2. The government to help it remain in the air. What is the first pair? Cash-strapped airline fought against time. 2 begged. First you underline the preposition to. And after to, the verb, it should be in which form? Bare infinitive. So you can reject straight away based on begged, not correct. Jumped against time. Do you think it is right? Jump against time. Hope you guys are with me. If you don't look at me, you are not with me. When you look down, there is a problem. When you look up and answer, respond, that means you have read the question, you have some option with you. When I ask the question, what is it? Jumped against time. Is it right? It is not correct. So based on the first word, and also, what is the second word here? To request. Perhaps that is right. But you have to reject based on the word jumped. Shrikant. Airline struggled against time. This is also not a regular expression. Struggle against time. Too forced. Grammar knowledge, you can reject this option. What is the reason? Forced. Raced against. You know the expression, race against time. So this seems right. What is the second word? To convince the government. This also seems right. Hold the fourth option. What is the fifth option? Remained against time. Is it correct? Not at all. And what is the answer based on that? A race against time, raced. To convince the government. Perfect. Question number 3. If tasks like keeping escalators functioning and repairing bridges, if tasks like keeping escalators functioning and repairing bridges are too much for us to handle, it is little wonder that disillusionment and cynicism, whatever the word. Now, can you say if simply tasks, which part of speech are you supposed to use? Adjective. First you underline the word tasks and write noun. Before that you have to use an adjective. Simply is not correct. What is the word? Simple tasks. So reject. Basic tasks. That is right. But what is the second word? Overcome. It doesn't go with this context. It is not correct. Please underline overcome or strike it off. Rudimentary, that's a good word. Please underline the word rudimentary. Rudimentary means basic or primitive or primary. Write 3 words, basic or primary or primitive. Rudimentary approach, rudimentary practice. So rudimentary tasks, basic tasks. And what is the second word here? Now, please underline, it is little wonder. That is a clue for you. It is little wonder that disillusionment and cynicism flourish. This seems right. Hold this one. Easily. Easy task or easily tasks? So, please reject this one based on the first word. Many tasks, and it is little wonder that disillusionment and cynicism highlight. That is not correct. So what is the answer here? The third option, rudimentary and flourish. Flourish means what? Thrive, grow. Please write the words. Flourish means grow. Also write thrive. T-H-R-I. Thrive. To grow well. Grow means what? Grow well. Write one expression, flourishing business. Flourishing business. Flourishing business means They are doing well, growing business. They're making a lot of money. When someone makes a lot of money in a particular field, there's one idiomatic expression. Please take that. Make a fortune. We say make a fortune. Write one example. I see a lot of students. I don't know why you're looking at the screen. Already have given. Now I'm going to dictate. So listen and write. He has made a fortune. Please write the example. He has made a fortune. He has made a fortune in the field of education. He has made a fortune in the field of education. If you take IIT Ramaiah, he has made a fortune in the field of education. You understand now. Now what is the question number 4? The number of commuters. Please underline the phrase the number. Already have learned a rule. The number, singular verb or plural verb? Singular verb. A number, plural verb. The number of commuters. Please underline the word commuters. And first you write the word commute. Commute is a verb. Commuter is a noun. Please write the meaning. Commute means to travel long distances. To travel long distances, especially for work. Especially for work. Work. No, this is very precious. We got to be careful. It was about to fall, so I was a little. So commuter, a person who travels long distance for work. The number of commuters every day. Here the clue for you, if you're not attentive, you may get a little confused, but please underline the preposition. At the country's busiest station. One word is enough, one preposition. What is it? At. Based on that, you get the answer. So we'll see. The number of commuters reaching every day at the country's busiest station. Reaching at, is it right? No. Please mark it wrong. The number of commuters traveling every day at the countries, is it right? Traveling at, mark it wrong. What is the third option? Arriving at. There is a perfect combination. The number of commuters arriving at the country's busiest station is expected to rise. That's also a regular expression. Expected to rise from 50,000 to 70,000 by 2043. Please, what is the answer here? Third option, we'll check other two options. Crossing every day at the country's busiest station. Is it right? No. Entered at, not at all correct. Now please underline the expression by 2043. If you see a time phrase that goes into the future with the preposition by, which tense are you supposed to use? Future perfect tense. Imagine something will be completed by 2020. Construction of a building. 2020 is future. By 2020 or 2020, the construction of that building will be completed. It will be over. Then how do you express that idea? The construction of the building will have completed by 2020. Will have completed, which tense is it? Future perfect tense. That you have to recollect. Shall I move on to the next one? The government's budgetary woes. Please underline the word. Woes means what? Problems, troubles. Please write the words. Problems, troubles. The government's budgetary woes are consequences of Brazil's underperforming economy. Does it sound right or wrong? It sounds right, but you have to check other options. The government's budgetary woes. Here the context is negative. Can you use the word significance? Please mark it wrong. Or significant would have been better. Significance is not correct. Results are results of Brazil's speed economy. Is it the right combination? Please mark it wrong based on the word speed. There is nothing like speed economy. A subject of Brazil's weak economy. But here, subject is not the appropriate word. So please mark it wrong based on the word subject. Weak economy is correct combination. What is the fifth option? Relevant of Brazil's steady economy, but the context is negative. We cannot use steady economy. So what is the answer here? It talks about the reason. The sentence talks about something and the reason. The government's budgetary woes are consequences of Brazil's underperforming economy. So what is the answer here? The first option is the answer. Is it the last one? How many of you have got all the 5 correct? All are easy almost. I see 2 students, but why? What went wrong? Almost all the 5 questions are rather easy. Who has got 3 plus? Raise your hands. 3 or 3 plus. Fine. That's also acceptable. But I thought a lot of students would get all the 5 correct. Now your favorite zone. Which one is that? Spot the errors. Error location. Only one error or more than one? So you're happy, that's why. Shall I read out sentence number 6? As agents of the news media, comma, our goal is not to confuse or alarm you. You have seen so many like this. So where is the error? But to speak the truth. Third part, first you underline the preposition to. To confuse or to alarm. But we don't repeat to. Here the verb should be in which form? There, to is already there. That means to plus verb, present infinitive. Please make a note. Present infinitive. To confuse, to alarm. Ed should not be there. Please strike off ed. To confuse or to alarm. It's understood. So please write the question is related to present infinitive. How many of you have got this one correct? That's pretty good. I hope the same thing happens with every question. Then you are happy, I am happy. Question number 7. While the economy has been, any pattern like that? Either has been doing something or has been. But what is the time phrase here? Please underline the time phrase. For the past several months. So you can use present perfect tense. Then what do you get? While the economy has been in what? In recovery mode for the past several months, many groups are believed to have been left behind. So where is the error here? The first part, and this is related to which tense? Please write present perfect tense. Related to present perfect tense. What is the sentence pattern that goes with present perfect tense? Subject plus have or has plus verb. Usually we use main or action verb. But here, what is the verb? Why no response? Here we have used the helping verb to be as the main verb. And what is the past participle of to be? Been. So please make a note. A lot of students don't know how to use to be in the past participle form. Please make a note. The question is more related to the helping verb to be, past participle form. Helping verb to be, past participle form. And write one example. In one exam, they gave a question like this. Please write. Many students, they must have written already, but still. She is our family doctor. Now I will change the example. Earlier I would use professor. So I want to change. She is our family doctor. She is our family doctor for 5 years. Is this sentence right or wrong? So what is the correct sentence? She has been, so please correct it. She has been our family doctor for 5 years. So what is the use of this? Present perfect, how many uses are there? Just tell the number. Because you are used to multiple choice, I'll give the choice. 3 uses, 5 uses, 7 uses, 9 uses. How many of you say 5 uses? Raise your hands. How many of you say 3 uses? How many of you say 7 uses? Then I have to learn from you. I myself don't know. The answer is 5 uses. What is the first use? This is the most important tense. The first use, we use it to express an action that happened in the past, but for which the time aspect need not be mentioned. Past action, time is not important. We use present perfect tense. And we use this particular use in conversational English, also at the workplace quite often. We ask questions like, have you seen the manager? Have you completed the work? Have you had your lunch? Have you done this? Have you done that? Here what is important? Action is important, not the time. Any past action, time is not important, action is important. Which tense do we use? Present perfect, first use. What is the second use? We use it to express recently completed actions with the word just. He has just left. And where do you use the word just? Between the helping verb and the main verb. He has just left. What is the third use of present perfect? We use it with the words like recently, already, lately, and yet. These four words usually take present perfect tense. What is the fourth use? We use present perfect with adverbs of time that indicate an incomplete time period. Now today, is it complete? Hope you guys are listening. Is today complete? This week? No. This month? Then you have to use present perfect. I have seen the manager today. If you say, I saw the manager today, it is not correct. What is the reason? Today is incomplete. But the last use is very important. First and last, very important. What is the last use that goes with this particular example? We use it to express an action that begins in the past and comes to the present. It doesn't go into future. With two prepositions. What are those two prepositions? Since and for. Specific time we use since, time period we use for. So based on that. Shall I move on to the next one? So here what is the time phrase? For the past several months, time period. Question number 8. Please put a star mark this one. Replaced old systems and adopting new technology. Please allow me to read. I appreciate your enthusiasm. This particular sentence. Replaced old systems and adopting new technology are some of the steps taken by the railway department to increase safety and prevent accidents. Now you respond, where is the error? Which part? First part, but first you underline adopting. This question is based on, why I told you to put a star mark, it is based on parallel expression. Parallel expression. Please make a note. Which expression? Parallel. That means what? You have to use the same grammatical unit. You cannot use a different word form. Adopting ing form, present participle. Here replaced a different form. Then it is not parallel expression. So what is the correct sentence? Replacing old systems and adopting new technology. Please correct it. Replacing. Replacing, adopting. Parallel, similar form. And make a note, the question is related to parallel expression. Question number 9. Despite these heady sentiments, the film's depiction, underline the word depiction. Depict means to show, to project. Write two words, to show or to project. Depict, project. Despite these heady sentiments, the film's depiction on revolutionary is astonishingly simple. Depiction on or off? Why no response? Here the combination, there is an error with the preposition. First you underline the word depiction. You depict something, depiction of something. So what is the correct answer? Depiction of revolutionary is astonishingly simple. Underline the word astonishingly, amazingly, surprisingly, incredible. So many words are there, I have said many a time. Please make a note, the question is related to what? Preposition. I would like to know how many of you have got this one right. Only, not too many students. Do you know the reason? Not exposed to the language. Not exposed to the language. If you are exposed to the language, the moment you see the word depict, then you tell yourself depiction of something. You think of the preposition of the next second. But when you're not exposed, then you're not quite sure where the error is, and again you're not quite sure what is the right preposition. That is the advantage if you read a lot. Shall I read the next one? Question number 10. Long-term unemployment is not a story about lazy people choosing to live on the dole instead of or for. Please write. Underline the word instead. This is also based on combination, word combination. Instead of getting a job. How many of you have got this one right? A lot. That's really good. Please make a note related to preposition. No, I haven't completed yet. There's one question. How many of you have got all the 5 correct? Please raise your hands. You want me to say something? Not quite encouraging, rather disappointing. I see a lot of beginners. The reason could be a lot of beginners are here. Then I'm not worried. It will take some time. Even you should not be worried. Senior students, then there's a problem. You have to ask yourself, what is happening? But beginners, no need to feel guilty, no need to worry. If you get out of 5 these questions, 2 or 3 right, be happy. There ends the matter. Now shall we go to this, what is it next? I'm going to present differently today to make it easy for you. We'll check it out. Now, para-jumble, am I right? No, close test of para-jumble. What is next? Then I have to be here. I wanted to present close differently, not para-jumble. This is a tough one. How many sentences are there? 6, and not at all easy. If you get it right, that will be a pleasant surprise for me. That will be a surprise. But you can get 1, 2, 3. That should not, at least 1, 2 you should get, should not be a problem. Now, what is this about? First question. The key word, first you go to the first sentence is E. E is the first sentence. We cannot take elimination approach, and it's very difficult. But there's one clue for you. Please underline the word. Excuse me. Underline the word analysts. I will read the sentence. Please listen very carefully. Now that the jobs picture is starting to look more encouraging for households trying to make ends meet, you would think analysts would be joyful about more people having more money in their pockets to spend. Now, this is the first sentence. How many of you have got this as the first sentence? Okay. Then what is the clue for you here? Analysts. Where do you find? But the second sentence is not about that. First, he makes a general statement. As I said, writers, they always try to present a statement. Different models are there. One of the typical models, statement contrasting information. Generally, they follow that. What is the reason? They want to make the paragraph interesting, appealing. And here, where do you find? There are 2 sentences with contrast. What is the first one? But. Please underline the word but. And there's one more contrasting sentence. Which one is that? Underline the word however. However. But here, if you cannot choose F, what is the reason? Tell me what is the reason? This stingy trend. Because of that expression, this cannot be the second sentence. That means what? What is the second sentence? C is the second sentence. E is the first sentence. C is the second sentence. What is it? But that is not the universal reaction. That means some people reacted differently. Now the third sentence, as I said, what is the clue for you? Analysts. Where do you find the word analysts? Yes, where do you find? Now go to B. I'll read out the sentence. In fact, as the unemployment rate has been shrinking to 6.1% rate, some analysts, so underline the word analysts. Now you can relate. Some analysts have been wringing their hands. A wring, underline the word. I'll tell the meaning later. Wringing their hands about the potential negative implications, underline the word, potential negative implications on stocks and the economy. Now here, write the word ringing, a ring, just write the word a ring. A ring generally doesn't go in this context, it goes with clothes. When you wash clothes, before you dry them up, what do? You try to twist, that is called a ring. So write the meaning, a ring means twist, T-W-I-S-T, twist, twist, or squeeze hard, squeeze hard. In this context, perhaps they are not quiet, they want to express a different opinion. Now you got the third sentence. What is the third sentence? But here the clue for you, implications. And the sentence is negative implications. Please underline negative implications. Then you have to look for a sentence where you find negative implication. Where do you find? All of you please go to A. The next fourth sentence is A. With fewer people looking for work than any time since the recession, the concern in fact is, that is a clue for you. Negative implication means what? Something negative. Underline the word concern. Concern is positive or negative? Hope you guys are listening. Negative. The concern in fact is that companies will be forced to pay more to hire new workers and to hold on to existing employees tempted by greener pastures. Please underline that expression. Tempted by greener pastures means what? Better prospects, better prospects. Companies which pay more, better prospects. This is really difficult. 1, 2, 3 are rather easy. After that, if you don't focus on negative implications, then in sentence A, you don't focus on the concern is in fact. The concern in fact is, then you cannot get. So how many sentences have you got so far? 4 sentences. The last 2 are rather easy. What is the reason? DF, what is the order? DF. D is the 5th sentence. They know that a lot of the record profits companies have enjoyed since the recession have resulted from slashing costs. I think you got this word yesterday. Slash means what? Cut down. Slashing costs and keeping staffing levels and pay low. So how can you decide? This is the 5th and the next one is the last. Please underline pay low. Pay low. Now where is the contrasting idea for that? However, now some analysts envision, please underline the word envision. Envision means what? Visualize, think, foresee, predict. Please write all these words. Visualize, foresee, predict, think, envision a change in this stingy trend of paying low. Can you see? Already have underlined paying low. And the same thing has been repeated. Paying low is what? Stingy attitude. You know the meaning of the word stingy. Old English we would say miser, but now we say stingy person. So what is the last sentence? F is the last sentence. Now the $1 million question, who has got this order? I am not surprised. Had someone raised a hand, it would have been a surprise. So I am not surprised. Shall I continue? What do you have next? How many of you have read the passage? That's wonderful. Easy passage. What is the passage about? Is it question number 16? Passage is about what? You all have to know. This goes with directly or indirectly the banking sector. Indirect or direct? Okay. So Jan Dhan Yojana, it talks about that, first paragraph. How many paragraphs are there? 5 paragraphs. Then he talks about it should be tackled on 3 fronts, not 1, 3. Then he highlights all the 3, and based on that a few questions. And you should get 8+, that should not be a problem. Shall we see the first question? Same in meaning, what is the word? Emulate. Already I've got the word emulate many a time. I told last week, I think we got the word emulate, means what? Copy, but positive or negative? I said positive. Emulate, copy, generally imitate or copy. Please write one expression, copycat. Copycat. If someone copies someone else, what do we say? He is a copycat. It's a negative expression, copycat. Imitate, that's also negative. But emulate is a positive word. The literal meaning is copy. But usage point of view, it has a positive connotation. You emulate a good example, a good person, a person who deserves to be a role model. So what is the answer? Similar meaning. Is it surpass? No. Is it worship? No. Is it promote? No. Copy. Partner? Not relevant. Who has got this right? Easy one, very easy. And you have got already. Emulate means what? Copy. And what is the context? Emulate what? The youngsters, the younger generation will find it cool to emulate it. Context based, they try to imitate or copy the celebrities. Shall I move on to the next one? 17. According to the passage, which of the following is or are feature or features of the Jan Dhan Yojana? This is purely based on common sense, and if you read the passage or don't read the passage, you can decide. What is the first option? It encourages people to open bank accounts by providing financial motivation in the form of insurance, right? Mentioned. It is meant to provide access to banking services to the population presently excluded from the banking ambit. This is also right. Underline the word ambit. Banking ambit means what? Banking sphere, field, sphere, field. Also write the word banking arena. They all mean the same. Sphere, field, arena, all those. Its objective is to open close to 15 million accounts every day, which will finally total up to 75 million in a month. Has it been mentioned anywhere? No. So what is the answer here? Only A and B. Which option says that? Fourth option is the answer. Easy one, should not be a problem. Same in meaning, ubiquitous. Ubiquitous, where has it been used? I think at the fag end of the passage or the first paragraph. Incentives for banks to provide ubiquitous and convenient mobile banking services. What do you understand? Do you know the meaning of the word? Please write the meaning. It means present everywhere. First you write present everywhere. Also write omnipresent. Omnipresent. Omnipresent also means present everywhere. There are a few problems with the key. This paper I have seen, the first 5 questions, some key is not correct. Even here key is not correct. A lot of errors. I don't know the exact reason. The key says, I think the 5th option. Am I right? Am I right? The key says the 5th option, but it is not correct. The answer is the 2nd option, pervasive. Pervasive also means present everywhere, spread out fully. I cross-checked. Synonym of ubiquitous, pervasive. No second thought. So what is the answer here? Because sometimes what happens, some students are new. They may believe, they may respect the key, and they may think, no, why should we trust the master? The key says the 5th option. So that's why I'm giving the clarity. What is the answer here? Not the 5th option. The 2nd option is the answer. What is the meaning of the word apparent? Apparent means what? Obvious. Please write. Also write the word evident. Apparent. Apparent behavior. Apparent, the behavior is apparent. The mood is apparent. Means what? Obvious, evident. Oh. According to the author, which of the following is not true? Please underline not true about the factors needed for the financial inclusion process to become a success. Day-to-day payments through the use of mobile phones should be made popular. True or not true? True. Mobile technology will have to be linked to electronic payments in a simplified manner. True. Maintenance of funds in the accounts opened either by the individual or by the government through some schemes will ensure that the banks find the process viable. That's also true. But please underline the word viable and write one combination, typical combination. Commercially viable. When you use a symbol that represents the word viable in this context, you don't have to write the word viable. Commercially, the symbol represents what? The word viable. Then what is the combination? Commercially viable means what? Feasible. Commercially viable means commercially feasible. Feasible means what? Possible. That's it. Now, the fourth option. Once opened, it will have to be ensured that the accounts do not lie unused. That's also true. If something is not active, it is not used, what is that called? What is the word? Please write the word. Dormant. Dormant. Not active, dormant. So what is the answer here? The fifth option. All the given options are true according to the passage. Shall I? Which are the following? Opposite in meaning. What is the word here? Adoption. Here not the typical meaning. What is the primary meaning of adopt? You take someone's child, make yours legally. But here adopt means what? Accept, embrace, follow, all these options. Accept, embrace, follow. Rejection. Seems right or wrong? Hold that one. Embracing, same meaning, synonym. Untying, tie, untie. Is it relevant here? Selection, no. Friction, no. So what is the answer here? Adoption, rejection. Please write, what is the fifth option here? Friction. That generally goes with physics. But write one word, fiction. Also write. Please write fiction, non-fiction. Have you written? A lot of students, when they think of those with Telugu medium background, those who are not good at conversational English, those who cannot speak fluent, impeccable, flawless English, when they see convent-educated boys and girls, they think those boys and girls are very good at English because of the school. But let me tell you, that is not correct. What is the reason? School, generally morning to evening, the teachers speak. Students don't speak. If it is a good school, am I right? And teachers, when they use English, obviously if it's a convent, which language do they use? English. They teach the subject. Subject English is not conversational English. Hope you're listening carefully. So ruled out. And they get 2 or 3 breaks, 15 minutes, half an hour, 15 minutes. If you add up about an hour, that is the time they use the language. And most of the time kids, whenever there's a break, they play or they talk. What do? They play. They want to play, they play. So when do they speak? Hardly they speak. And they don't get a chance to speak. If they get a chance also, they speak only for a few minutes. Then comes a question, where do they get the language from? It is not from the teachers. It is not from the classmates. Where do they get it from? All these convent-educated boys and girls, as kids, they start with comics. First, they start reading comics. Today, you see all these movies like Tarzan, Phantom, Batman. These are basically comic books. So they start with the comics. By the time they come to 8th standard or 9th standard, they read fiction novels. They read a lot and they find it so, each book they find so interesting, sometimes they finish off in one day. And once they enter the college, they read non-fiction. What is fiction? Imaginary, something like our Telugu movie, hero, heroine, villain. That is fiction. Non-fiction based on facts. So if someone asks, sir, how can we improve our conversation English? My suggestion, you have to read fiction novels, not the Hindu paper. Hindu paper is written English. It has nothing to do with conversational English. For conversational English, you have to read fiction novels. So generally, many of these words, based on exposure to the language, you can get right. And some of them go with everyday English and based on habit of reading fiction novels. So friction is different, fiction is different. That's the reason why I had to speak for 5 minutes. Hope you got the difference. Yes. Now, question number 21. Opposite in meaning, what is the word? Integrated. Integrate means what? Combine, join, include. Please write include, combine, align. Align means be at the same level. Alignment, left alignment, right alignment. Separated, hold that one. Chopped. Write the meaning of the word chop. Chop means to cut. Chop something. Chop the vegetables means what? Cut the vegetables into small pieces. Broken, no. Incorporated. Incorporated also means included. But he wants the opposite meaning. So what is the answer here? The second option, separated. But please underline SE, what is the spelling? PA, not PE. That's a common error. Separate, what is the spelling? SEPARATE. Shall I move on? Question number 22. According to the author, which of the following is or are benefit or benefits of financial inclusion to the poor? This is also based on common sense. The poor will gain more knowledge of the financial sector and thereby can immediately decide to invest in shares bringing good returns. Can you expect that from poor people? So mark it wrong. Ridiculous option. It may result in increased savings for the poor. This is right. Bank transaction data will prove to be useful to the poor for availing other financial services. This is also right. So what is the answer here? I think this also there is a problem with the key. Answer is B and C. Which option says that? Second option is the answer. Please remember, you should always trust yourself. Don't depend on the master. I don't say that. Don't depend on the key. Because last year what happened, some of the students, brilliant students, they would come and tell me, sir, we are getting disturbed. Our self-esteem is taking a beating. I said, why? When we take the test, our score usually is 17 or 18. When we come here, we listen to you, our score is 22 or 23. That means what? They trusted the key. So they get disturbed. Please remember, your job is to take the test. Don't look at your scores. Don't look at the analysis. I don't say every time. Sometimes, if you're very sensitive, then don't look at the analysis, don't look at the scores. Straight away you come here, listen to the faculty, and whatever the faculty, based on the explanation, you get the score, that is the final score. Still, sometimes, here and there, some students, they tell me, sir, what you said is not correct. There is a different option is the answer. Rarely that happens, rarest of rare, once in a blue moon, to use one idiomatic expression. But generally, I cross-check everything, I tell what is right, what is wrong. Based on that, your score is the final score. Then you assess yourself. Good score, be happy. Bad score, put in more effort. Very simple. So, question number 23, am I right? Which of the following is true about usage of thumbprints for authentication according to the passage? As I said, you all should go to the last paragraph. You see the word emulate, all those sentences, last paragraph, the fourth line, please go to the fourth line. How does it start? Celebrities. Who are celebrities? Celebrity means a very famous person and a popular person. Usually famous and popular. Popular means famous and liked by everyone. And famous but people hate him, then what is the word? I will rephrase. Someone is very famous and people like him a lot. We use the word popular. Someone is very famous, but people hate him. What is the word? Please write the word notorious. Notorious people are also famous, but they are not, people don't like them. And write the combinations. This word goes with notorious smugglers, smuggler, notorious dons, notorious mafia. These are the typical combinations. Shall I read out the options? I hope you guys are with me. When I ask a question, shall I read out the options? What do I expect from you? You don't respond, that means what? You want me to not to read out the question or options. First one, it may become popular if celebrities decide to promote the same. Mentioned clearly in the passage, tick that one. Only the younger generation will be quick to take up this technology. Mentioned clearly. Please go to that part. I'll read out the sentence. Celebrities can help here. If films were to include scenes in which rich and upper middle class characters were shown to use thumbprints to withdraw funds or make quick payments in stores and to their household help, for instance, the younger generation will find it cool to emulate it, and it will spread like wildfire. Please underline the expression, spread like wildfire. They have used informal English expression. Will find it cool means comfortable, nice, something positive. Cool here means what? Positive. Please write the meaning of the word cool. Everyday English we say cool means what? Positive, no problems. But spread like wildfire means spread very fast, quickly. So what is the second option? Only the younger generation will be quick to take up this technology. That is right. B is also right. Any objection, anyone? What is it? Only the younger generation. Does it talk about other generations? Here, no, read the sentence. It talks about the celebrities doing something. The younger generation will find it cool to emulate it, and it will spread like wildfire. This will also, let me complete. This will also lower the burden of financial literacy, as others will quickly learn how to use this technology. But it starts with, first with youngsters or others. Here, what is the option? Only the younger generation will be quick to take up. Not all the people who will be quick to take up. Please understand the option. Will be quick to take up this technology. Who will be quick to take up this technology? Younger generation or other people? So obviously it is right. Still you have an objection. Fine. What is the third option? The cost of spreading awareness about its usage has the potential to be lesser than traditional methods. Mentioned anywhere? I don't think so. Where has it been mentioned? It is there, which is much more effective and cheaper than any formal financial literacy. Yes, it is mentioned. So what is the answer? I think there's a problem with this also, key. What does the key say? All the three? Now what is the answer here? The question is true about. First one is true, A is true, B is true, C is true. So which option says all the three? Second option is the answer. Is it the last question or we have some more? Question number 24. Which of the following can be the most suitable title for the passage? Walking the right path to financial inclusion. Financial inclusion, limitations of the country. Does it talk about limitations? How good is the Jan Dhan Yojana? Does it talk about good and bad of Jan Dhan Yojana? But the writer talks about, I will tell you, fourth option, repercussions. Underline the word. Repercussions means what? Negative consequences. Please write. Consequences, but negative. Negative consequences. And what is the fifth option? The banking sector and the rural poor. Now what is the answer? I think it should be the second option. Financial inclusion. The whole passage is about financial inclusion. Then the writer talks in the first paragraph. Always remember the title of the passage you can get from the first introductory passage or the last concluding passage. The introductory passage talks about what? The writer appreciating the Prime Minister's stand regarding this financial inclusion and the scheme. At the same time, he talks about a three-pronged approach. Do you remember? He uses the word stool, three. So that means what? It is not complete, some limitations are there, and we have to meet those limitations or we have to tackle those issues. So based on that, I believe I go with the key. The answer is the second option. Any problem? No? Fine. The last question, which of the following statements aptly describes, underline the word aptly, appropriately, right? The author's view of the Prime Minister's financial inclusion plan. The writer is happy or unhappy? He is very happy, clearly mentioned. What is the first option? He does not think it is worth the effort. That's a negative statement, not correct. He believes that the plan is well chalked out and includes all the details needed for it to become successful. If that is the case, he will not talk about the three-pronged approach, limitations. He doesn't talk about that. He is in agreement with it, but expects that more needs to be done in order to make it successful. This is right. He feels that although the plan is detailed, the country is not yet ready, not correct, other than those given as options. The writer is in agreement, but he has certain reservations. He talks about some limitations. So what is the answer here? The third option is the answer. Now we'll go to cloze test. Very short paragraph about which country? Germany. Now how I'm going to present, please make a note. Either you could underline and write the key word, then we'll see the questions and answers. It will be easy for you. Now this starts with a statement. What is the statement? Please underline, Germany had begun the 21st century in bad shape. Underline the word, expression bad shape. The statement, first sentence is a statement, positive or negative. As I said, excuse me. As I said, the writers, they present a statement, they try to justify, they try to substantiate. Then you underline the next sentence. How does it go? Wages had soared after unification in 1990. 1 point, justification. The budget was, whatever the word, with big transfers to the former East Germany. Second, idea for justification. Excessive regulation was preventing the economy. Third, idea for justification. Now, 3 points regarding the first statement, which is a negative statement. The writer wants to justify or substantiate. Now here, the budget was, what are the options here? The budget was, underline the word with. After that, what do you see? With. The budget was hamper with. Is it right grammatically? Mark it wrong. Here, you have to use which part of speech? Verb. And which tense? The whole context goes into the past. Past. How many verbs are there? We'll save time. Burdened. And what is the other one? Announcing was hamper. I think only burdened. Only one. Hamper, not correct. Taxing. Taxing with, not correct. Was, not correct. Announcing, not at all correct. So what is the answer here? Burdened with what? Big transfers to the former East Germany. Burdened with. I hope you got it. How many of you have got this one right? That's very good. Then he talks about the impact of this. Statement, negative. 3 reasons, justification. Impact. What is the impact of this? To get away. Please underline the expression get away. I'll show the meanings of many words from this short passage. Here, just listen, don't write. Get away means escape. Escape. To get away from all this, German firms production to cheaper places. Now, what is the clue for you? Please underline production to cheaper places. From this place to cheaper place. What word do you think of? Shift. What do? You move something from here to some other place. What is the word shift? Now, we'll see the options. 27. Can you say modified? No. Reverse? No. Shifted. Shifted to cheaper places. Kept to, not correct. Retained to, not at all correct. So, what is the answer here? Shifted to, third option. This is also easy. Then what measures have been taken? Then the passage talks about the measures, the solutions. First one, shocked by high joblessness and the hollowing out. Please underline the word hollowing. Hollowing out of the German industry. First, usually it is from the government. The government, a set of sweeping tax, regulatory and labor reforms. Reforms, what is the word you can think of? The government does what? To bring about reforms. Launch, initiate, start, all these words. Now, what are the options here? The government introduced a set of, seems right, hold that one. The government highlight. Here the verb should be in the past form. How many verbs are there? Please underline acquainted, introduced and also acquainted. You cannot consider highlight, you cannot consider pioneer, you cannot consider launch. Which one is a better word? The government acquainted or the government introduced? So, what is the answer here? The first option is the answer. This is also an easy one. At least for me it is easy. Next one. So, first from the government, then from the firm's side. Firms took on apprentices, mixing, underline the word mixing. Mixing, what is the preposition you use? Mix with, common sense. Mixing practical training, classroom tuition. So, which option says? Along, beside, instead, together. Fifth option, mixing with. Easy one. Mixing practical training with classroom tuition. Then what? In addition, a system of giving trade union seats on company boards encouraged wage restraint. Underline the word restraint. This belt tightening, please underline the expression belt tightening, was impressive, but German firms were also to be making the right things at the exact time. What are the options here? Forcibly, you have to use a positive word or a negative word. No. This belt tightening was impressive, but contrasting means positive. German firms were also, we have to use a positive word. Forcibly is not correct. Fortunately, but what are the other words? Fortunately to be making, no, not correct expression. Lucky to be making. So, how many of you have chosen lucky? That is the answer. They were lucky to be making the right things at exact time. What is the next one? Promising to be, not correct. Potentially to be making, not correct. Here, lucky to be making certain measures at the same time, they were making the right things at the right time. Lucky to be making. And what is the conclusion? This proved to be a perfect combination. See, again, here you have lucky, positive word. Conclusion also positive. This proved to be a perfect combination in a decade when emerging economies were booming. Underline the word booming. Booming means what? Doing well, increase, do well. I'll show the meanings later. And especially China went on an investment binge. Underline the word binge. So many useful words are here. So please write vocabulary. First you write the word hamper. Hamper, one meaning a basket with a few things. You take it when you go on a picnic. Gift hamper, a combination. But hamper, another meaning, block, hinder, impede. Next word is an important word. You all know the word tax, but here tax, there general use, it's a noun. Here tax is what? A verb. Taxing, physically or mentally demanding. That's a very useful word. Taxing job. Write the combination taxing work, taxing job. What is the word bad? Which part of speech is it? Adjective. Positive form. What is the comparative? Worse. What is the superlative? Worst. That you have to recollect. Please try to write quickly. We don't have a lot of time. Burdened. Burdened means what? Something difficult or unpleasant that you have to deal with. Burdened with some responsibility. Burdened with some problems. Retain. Retain means what? Continue to have. Acquainted. Make someone aware of or familiar with. Make someone aware of or familiar with. Pioneer. You must be knowing the meaning of this word. A person who is one of the first people to do something, the one who initiates, the one who starts, we call the person pioneer. Have you written? Some more words are there. Shall I change? You have to be a little fast. Shall I? Now look at these words. Launch. Start or set in motion an activity or a product or a service. Besides, both are prepositions. What is the difference? Beside means next to. Besides, in addition to. Potentially, possibly. Potential means what? You have something but not, it is hidden. At a later stage it comes out. Get away. Remember I said escape. Get away with punishment. Means what? Escape punishment. Then we use one idiomatic expression. Please write. Go scot-free. Many politicians go scot-free. Means what? They escape punishment. Hollow. Empty or not solid. We all know the word sweep. You sweep the room with what? With a broomstick. That sweeping is different. Here sweeping means what? Broad or extensive. Broad or extensive. Restraint. Refrain, restrain, both mean the same. Self-control. Not to indulge in bad habits or negative activities. This is an important one. Please write the meaning of belt tightening. Belt tightening means what? A reduction in spending. Reduction in spending. Booming, flourishing or thriving. It goes with business. Booming business means what? Flourishing business. And what is the last word? But it is not the right combination. Generally, binge has a negative connotation. Binge means to indulge in negative activities, bad habits. But here what is the combination? Investment binge means too much of indulgence in investment. Indulgence. So how do you like this presentation? I would like to have the feedback. Is this better? Oh, very good. I appreciate that. That is the spirit. I would like to stop here for today. But the session is not over.